Now, Tim, a couple of emails.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Right, first up. You're first up.
All right. From Marita, can you please provide an accurate definition of Torrens Title with regard to properties for sale?
Well, I guess there's a lot you could talk about with the Torrens titling side of things. The main three titles at the moment, Strata Title, Community Title and Torrens Title. Torrens Title is the preferred style of property titling in South Australia. It's, in simple terms, a single dwelling on its own allotment with no encumbrance, if you like, to any other property. So it's the ideal way to buy property.
Okay. And the second question, which you might want to read out?
Yes, I do. I just have to find it first, but that's all right. It's actually from Anthony, and he is talking about overseas properties. Wants to know what the tax implications in Australia are in regard to capital gains tax and rental income for those properties you might purchase overseas.
That's a big question, actually, and I've got to tell you that we will probably need to research this, Anthony, and get back to you next week on next week's show. But the reality is that you will have implications on your tax both in the country of origin where the actual properties exist, and that will vary presumably quite significantly, and particularly in America. A lot of people have been talking about America. The tax implications in each state vary, so there's no way we can be sure of exactly where that sits. What I can say is funding the property is tricky overseas, and basically you need to be able to fund it off a local property and then have the money sent over to settle on the properties. Then of course you definitely will have implications locally in your tax. I've actually got Mark Lewis, as I mentioned, on Friday, so we'll have a chat to him about that and see if he knows the answers. But we will get back to you on that, we promise. Okay, thanks Tim, that was great.
Terrific, thanks.
Isn't it great looking over the properties and...
Oh, when you can see those spectacular homes, and especially exciting is what's coming up too.
Yeah, so stay tuned on the program. We've got some massive, beautiful properties coming up over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, let's go to Hot Property. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show and the top 6 properties. Now we've got some great properties coming out for sale in the next few weeks. So they're big, they're beautiful. We'll report back on them later in the next few shows. For the meantime, we're off to Netherby next week for SA's Finest, and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, 1 o'clock Wednesday.